business improvement districts, TIDs, TBIDs, TMDs, you name it, they've got a lot of different names, they're all the same animal. And they essentially are an assessment on hotels that creates stable funding for tourism promotion. They come out of the bid world. And many of you will have business improvement districts in your states and your cities, and those go by a lot of different names: community improvement district, special improvement district, business improvement district. They are a very similar type of district. They are an assessment on businesses or an assessment on properties that raise money to provide improvements. So some traditional bids do marketing, but they really are not tourism improvement districts. So what are these? These are assessments on lodging businesses, typically not other businesses. It has been mostly limited to lodging. Some places have looked at assessing attractions, some have considered restaurants but have not included them, and we can talk about that more maybe even in a discussion session. But really this is an assessment on lodging businesses. Two different ways to levy the assessment. That is on gross revenue of hotels or on a fixed rate per room per night. So 1%, 2%, much like your accommodations tax, or $1 per room per night, or $2 per occupied room per night. So those are sort of the assessment formulas. The lodging businesses pass that on to their customer the way they would with a lodging tax, and the funds come back to the CVB to provide promotion and marketing. What they do is they provide a stable funding source. But who knows the difference between an assessment and tax? A tax doesn't have to show any benefit whatsoever. You can tax a group here and spend it over there. An assessment, and these are special benefit assessment districts, have to be spent to benefit the payer. So everything we do when we look at creating these districts comes back to a question of benefit, who's benefiting, and linking that assessment to the benefit. What does that do? That does exactly what Clay just said, which it takes us out of the normal government funding role. It takes us out of competing with all those other government interests. It takes us out of that annual begathon for money for the Bureau when we're fighting against cops and fire and parks and all of those other local or state government priorities. This becomes its own funding source in its own dedicated funding account, essentially.